everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Amadara Mills. In this week's episode, we're here in the heart of the Republic Day celebrations taking place in the East, Roxborough to be exact. It's a day packed with activities, from the Republic Day parade to the thrilling regatta action, to the evening celebrations with a cultural show and fireworks. We're here to bring you a taste of it all. So get your favorite drink, sit back, relax. Let's Talk Tobago starts now.
Whoa, welcome to paradise. You will feel so nice in Tobago. This party island, the vibes it strong like white rum, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. It's back and non-stop. This song go leave we and come back, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. Come join the Konyan band.
The Republic Day Parade started 4 years ago as a way to share our national celebrations with those in the east of the island. Members of our armed forces proudly marched from Lamy Road in Argyle all the way to the Sid Gray Sporting Complex in Roxborough. The parade contingent includes the police service, the fire service, the defense force, the Coast Guard, and the prison service. Even our little ones in clubs like Scouts and Cadets also lined up to march. Have a look at the highlights from this year's parade. Another element of the day's celebrations is the Power Boats Regatta, a racing event for our sea sport lovers. In that spirit, let's power into that segment. Here with us one of the members of the organizing committee. Can you give us your name and the organization you're representing?
My name is Arnold Lindo, and I represent the Tobago Association of Powerboating and Aquatic Sports. We try to bring the boat racing field back to Roxborough. Roxborough used to have something called bumboat racing, right, which is now dormant. My grandfather, Carlton Lindo, he was the organizer of the bumboat racing in Roxborough. It used to be an Easter event here in Roxborough. So this Republic event sort of like replaced that Easter event, right? Roxborough used to be packed with people for the Easter regatta, right? So the power boats are now used to regenerate the boat racing sport in Roxborough, Tobago.
Now, is it very significant that you all have it on Republic Day? You know, this regatta. Tell us the importance of having it on Republic Day.
Okay, well, I think this event was brought to Roxborough by Mr. Hilton Sandy in his time, right? And after he demitted office, Roxborough felt that this event needed to continue, right? So the villagers formed the organization so that this event can continue.
I wanted to ask you, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, how do you feel that we are celebrating 46 years as a republic?
Well, it's a great feeling, right, as a republic. Tobago on the whole, you know, So much to do on Republic Day. We had the march past this morning, and then today now the boat show. Later on we'll have the cultural events. So Republic is really, a bright celebration in Roxborough.
So we have here two gentlemen who would have participated in the races here at the regatta. So tell us, give us your names and where you're from, and the name of the boat.
My name is Terry Serrett from Trinidad. We have the driver here who is Anthony Joseph. The boat is a 20-foot formula powered by a Yamaha outboard engine. It was a nice experience racing in this regatta. Now this is the first time for us up here in this regatta. It's a new experience and we're taking it however we get,
Now I wanted to ask you, what has your experience been like as well?
Well, my experience, I always had experience with boats, especially with speed and so on, so it wasn't nothing new to me.
All right, now you were explaining, you said, as a team, you all have different roles in the boat. Explain that to us.
One person throttles the boat, which gives the boat the speed that the boat goes at, and the next person steers the boat. Right, so we have a driver and we have a throttleman. One steers the boat and one accelerates or decelerates. Anyway.
What did you all place in the races that you all participated in today?
So far we ran 2 circuits. In the first circuit we came in second, and in the last circuit there we came in first. Right, there's one more race again I believe for the day, which is a sprint from there down to this side of the jetty. So we just trying to just get the boat ready. Not much to do, the boat is well prepared. We use the boat a lot. So, and that's the thing, if you fail to prepare to fail.
So I wanted to ask, how do you feel about the placing here today at the regatta?
I feel not too bad, just confident with the other races coming up.
Right. And how do you feel about, what you would have placed?
Good. I mean, there's a lot of trial and error now. You have to pay the time to get the boat to work how it is you want it to work, And the only way you do that is putting the boat into the water and running the boat. A lot of guys believe that they would just fix it on the land and it will be good. No, you need to put it and put it to the test. And that's something we do with our boat a lot. Every weekend we down the islands taking a little lime, but it's not also lime, and it's also trying to see what will go wrong with the boat. Now, man-made stuff, things will go wrong, I understand, but once you prepare, I guess you'll be all right.
So we're here with one of the boat racers. Can you give us your name and tell us the name of the boat that you raced?
Well, my name is Roland Foa. I am the owner and the charterman powered by God 2.
And what was it like on the water today, Mr. Roland?
Well, the race was really enjoyable for me. The water was just right. A little chop, a little calm here and there, but it was perfect condition for racing.
And what did you place in the race? Tell us the event that you would have participated in and what you placed.
Well, the first race we did a 1 lap, came third, and the 2 lap I dropped out.
All right. So tell us, Roland, how are you enjoying the Roxborough Regatta festivities up on this side of the island?
Well, every year I look forward to coming Roxborough to race because it's one of the, I should say, more loving event on the island, right? And I just look forward for it every year and hoping to take part in it every year because I love racing.
I wanted to find out, we're celebrating Republic Day today, how do you feel as a country, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, being able to, reach, 46 years as a republic?
Well, it's nice, right? At 46 years, republic, what I can say, it's just to enjoy it. Enjoy the best side.
So I'm here with Dr. Faith B. Israel, the Deputy Chief Secretary. Congratulations, as well as the Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Dr. B. Israel, how are you enjoying the day today?
It's been a wonderful day. It started with the parade, then we went over to the award ceremony that the minister held, and now we are here at the Roxborough Regatta. I'm having a good time today.
Can I ask you, you've been to all these events today, all these various activities, any of them your favorites?
Oh gosh, why would you ask me that? Why would you ask?
You know how to act.
But this evening I look forward to the cultural show and I look forward to the fireworks and so forth this evening. But you know what? I really can't pick a favorite because I enjoyed every single one of them. They cater to a different crowd. They have, different spectators and so forth. And this is exactly what we need for Roxborough.
Because I wanted to ask you that as well, the importance of bringing these kinds of national and patriotic celebrations to the east of the island.
Certainly. Well, those of us from the east usually feel that we are a little neglected. So I am always happy when we can bring activities to the east, because we're not just bringing the activities, we are actually bringing economic activity as well. And as you can see, we have vendors all over the place. We have people actually making money. We have people ensuring that they have a bread and butter, and that is what we need for the east of the island. Yes, I'm happy when the entire island develops.
And that's great to hear. Now, as a policy maker, can you tell us what does being a republic mean to you? What does, us celebrating 46 years of being a republic mean to you?
Certainly. Well, being a republic means that we can do our own things. It means that we are manning our own house. We are in charge of our own destiny. And that, I think, is very important, because it means we can chart the way. We can decide for ourselves right here in Trinidad and Tobago where we go, what we do, and why we do it. I would actually go further, and that is why we are talking about, autonomy for Tobago and greater autonomy for Tobago, so that we can chart that same destiny for the island. So I am happy that we are here celebrating Republic Day. I'm happy that Trinidad and Tobago has gotten to this point, because there are many nations that are now doing it, even in the Caribbean. There are countries that are still now becoming a republic in the Caribbean. So it shows that we have a level of maturity that I really appreciate. And I am glad to be a part of the policy making so that we can advance those agendas.
And any Republic Day greetings, to the people of Tobago?
Certainly, I want to say to all of Tobago, I want to say to every single one of you, Happy Republic Day. Enjoy the day, enjoy the holiday. Be safe out there, be safe out there. And let me just take a plug in. My staff at the hospital in Roxborough, I just got a note that they have actually been doing a lot of work. So while everybody else is enjoying themselves, they are the ones picking up everybody who fainted, who fainted at the parade today. So I want to say to the Roxborough Health Facility, the staff members there, thank you all so much. To Thames, everyone, thank you all so much for the hard work that you all are putting in, while the rest of us are here enjoying ourselves. But to the Trinidad and Tobago, Happy Republic Day. Enjoy the day, be safe, and again, come out this afternoon for the cultural show, because I'm excited about the fireworks.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Faith B. Israel. So there we have it, our Deputy Chief Secretary and Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, enjoying herself up here in Roxborough and proudly representing, the people of the east of Tobago. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is always a pleasure to be home. Roxborough is the village that birthed me, and therefore it's always exciting to see Republic Day bringing the entire Tobago converging on Roxborough and displaying our true sense of hospitality, our true sense of camaraderie, our true sense of uniqueness as a people of the community of Roxborough. And I am pleased thus far, looking this morning on the parade, there was a lot of new initiative in terms of us bringing horses for the first time. I'm very proud as the Assistant Commissioner responsible for the K9 unit to ensure that we got that in Tobago, in Roxborough for the first time. And of course, the powerboat race. Roxborough was known for powerboat racing. People like Mr. Carlton Lindo would have fought years in order to ensure that this sport stay alive in Roxborough. And therefore, I remember as a young boy what we used to call discovery. That was the day when we used to be this very spot. We had lots of sailboat race that we will come as young boys to look at Zeppelin and all these boats participate. And ensuring that it continue is really important. So I am happy to see that the sporting aspect of the boat race is alive and well, and even descendant of Mr. Lindo is still involved in it and keeping it up and well. So I want to say congratulations to all who are responsible, and of course the police is here to ensure that safety and order is maintained. We are looking forward for a crime-free day in Roxborough, and hats off to everyone.
What does being a republic mean for you?
Republic for me meant that we as a people is able to stand on our own. We are able to make our own decisions. We are able to raise our own identity with our flag. Our flag represents to us a meaning of a people coming together in one bond, in one unity, united and identity, that wherever we go, the red, white and black, we will feel proud of that and we will cherish that as our own.
How are you enjoying the celebrations up here in Roxborough today?
Well, I find it's perfect. The weather is perfect today. Like, taking into consideration the weather for the past 2 days, we have a beautiful day today and a great turnout.
All right, and that's great to hear. Is this your first time up on this side?
It is not, but in a long time, yes. I feel like if everybody was looking forward to everything coming back, like the anticipation was built up and now the turnout is like way different, yeah.
All right. Now, we're celebrating 46 years as a republic. How do you feel as a, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago being able to celebrate 46 years as a republic?
One word, and that's proud.
Can you give us your name and where are you from?
Chris Ramsawak, I'm from Trinidad, Port of Spain.
All right. And Mr. Ramsawak, you're here up at the Republic Day Regatta in Roxborough. Tell us, why did you come up here?
Oh, well, what happened is we have one boat in the competition, and I have one boat here just for the boat show that was done yesterday.
How are you enjoying the celebrations in Roxborough?
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful here. Really, really, people here make you feel at home. The races is really nice. It's even getting better and better, more professional. Every time we come, I see this happening, growing. It's really, really nice. The people here is very warm, comfortable, the atmosphere, everything is beautiful. And it's getting better and better, even more professional every time we come here.
How do you feel about, coming second place in your class in the regatta here? What are your feelings about that? Because I know you are very energetic and like you're showing a lot of zeal with your partners over under the 10 day. How do you feel about participating and placing?
Well, I'll tell you something. The thing is not about winning. The thing is about being here and enjoying it and enjoying the race. Winning and winning a prize is just bragging rights. But being here and enjoying and being part of it with the warm, nice people here is amazing.
Tell us your name and where you're from.
All right, well, I'm Desiree Francis, originally Desiree Fraser from right here in Roxborough. I did come for the parade this morning, got here a little late, so I only got the bit from this area to the stadium. So yeah, it's been going great so far. I've not been back to Roxborough for this parade since I left here, probably about 30 years ago.
But you just said you got caught up with friends, so I guess it's a sense of socializing, meeting up with people you haven't seen in a long time. That's the essence of this kind of celebration.
Definitely. I mean, I've met so many people here today that I haven't seen in a long time. They haven't seen me in a long time, so it's a lot of chatting taking place. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
A Republic Day Awards ceremony held by the Central Administrative Services Tobago CAST under the Office of the Prime Minister was also a part of Tobago's celebrations. That too took place in this community. We head over to the Roxborough Secondary School to take in that event.
In our third year, we introduced the award ceremony as a way of bringing goodwill and good gesture to Tobago East and recognizing some of the men and women in our community who would have served in some way. And as I often tell people about, I'm a Trinidadian, but I'm a proud Tobago girl. I want us to ensure that in Tobago, ensure that our young people understand how important it is for us always hold a nation up with pride.
Festivities on the island aren't complete without a cultural show. Themed Forging a Brighter Horizon, a Republic Story. The performances included calypso renditions, a steel pan showdown, and exciting dance routines. Take a look.
Watching she sexy ways, the way she moves so sweet. But the doctor want to eat, so the girl she under pressure. But the doctor want to cook her, push she in a pressure cooker. He pick up the people and drum, start to dance and the beat it drum. The girl know I go down, she whine to the beat of the drum.
Good day to all sundry, family, friends and politicians and everybody out there. We the people at Roxborough and the police troopers PG-Fires are happy to have you here. Republic Day is always a special occasion for the business community and all our way because we get with own parade and with fireworks and we get to celebrate with everybody. So eat, don't drink too much, be merry and have a ball. As we say to you, happy 46th Republic Day to one and all. Beat your drum, Mr. Tobago.
Politicians, we like to criticize, we love to make excuse, we seem to enjoy casting blame and helping abuse. But when the government come, the government go. It's one thing I really want you to know, we the people are the heart and soul of this land, and this we have to solve this situation. Bottom line is that we, you and me, got to someone all our return and try to truth and fail, save this land that we love. Cause problems will come and problems will go. Experts will say how to get them solved. It's we have to fight to save this land that we love. Within it of movement as one, a blessed rich tradition. What time went in, come on now we sing. Pay homage, I sing Tobago. There we go. I said Tobago, Tobago. There we go. I said Tobago, Tobago. This is our lovely rainforest. There we go. Tobago, Tobago. There we go. And the master cockrico. There we go. And we burn. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. There we go. There we go. So when they come with their guns and drums, we should tell them, Tobago, tell them. I say, make it understood better, no. And we know
and dirty. I was born in a village. I learned my upbringing, where all was forgiven. So I'm in tune with my spirit. I was born as a warrior. The father was a stick fighter. So why is not no pushover? Now we're fighting back. They come out of boss man. Give those the belting like they want a boss man. No matter what they do, me I do pound for them. Way they get in, no like they want to come for me. So tell them come for me.
Tell me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Tell me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Tell me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Tell me say come back, come on and do.
Tomorrow is me wedding day.
Tell me say come back, come on and do.
So they know that this is something new. So I'm following its roots, I'm singing for me. Because you don't inside this station, you could hear a song and I'll be recording. Get voice is morning. This is the land of island music. We make it better. I tell you, you can't refuse it. If we make steel drum, when they always start to beat it, it's too much.
Monday and Tuesday, I wine and loosely, tripping down the road, and we're breaking our way. What? I can't stay home no day, ain't missing this no way. On top of cloud 9, let's make it, guys. Making it. If it's you, we get you know. Night and day we fetching on. Come by me, come by me. We're gonna bend over, come on. Cause we can't live sweet like Tobago. They come just making the cocoa. The girl never hot like flambo, one back like Rambo. Put it on.
I think I could not go alone. No other place, eh?
Come let me go down the road.
So watch me, just watch me now. So watch me, just watch me now.
I beg your fly, train, beg or fly. Cut all the strings, free your wings and just like the dove. Come let me rise above. I said fly, train, beg or fly. We crash and we fall in spite of it all. Just exude your love. Come let me rise above.
Thanks for staying with us as we brought you the Republic Day festivities which took place in the eastern community of Roxborough. As usual, you can email us with your comments or queries about the program. Visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Amadara Mills, wishing you a safe and productive week. Now, in case you missed it, here's a look back at the fireworks display which concluded the 2022 Republic Day celebrations.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Put
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Ski.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, those of you in the Caribbean and those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Rhea. Good morning, Rhea. How are you doing this morning?
A good day. A little bit tired because I had a bit of a run yesterday, but a good day today.
Yes, I know how that is at times.
Yeah.
To ensure that we get things done. So Rhea, there's been so much happening, probably on the sadder side of things, particularly in terms of, I'm hearing again, we have incidents happening in the Tobago space, really becoming a serious cause for concern.
Definitely. So we had one yesterday morning, one later yesterday afternoon, and I'm looking at the news. Of course, I have to keep tracking the time to ensure it wasn't the same story from earlier in the morning. And definitely cause for concern. What is happening? Where are these guns coming from, Julian? That's the big question. People want to know where is it coming from, and is it that the police service cannot keep track? Is it that they do not know? Do they know these elements? Are these elements from outside of Tobago? Are they from within the communities? What's happening?
What I'm sure about is that it's certainly becoming largely uncomfortable for many here within the Tobago space, whether this is coming from within or it's coming from external, impacting us here in the Tobago space. But at this point, viewers, we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Rhea. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 13th October 2022. TNTech launched an investigation into the island-wide blackout that occurred yesterday. At 11:33 a.m. on Wednesday, customers throughout Tobago lost electricity. They determined that the issue originated out of the Cove Power Station. 10 minutes after the island-wide power outage, customers began receiving electricity again in the Crown Point and Bonaccord areas. All customers were restored by 12:30 p.m. Despite the prompt reconnection, TNTech officials remained in the dark about the exact cause of the blackout. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, Senator Lawrence Hislop told the Senate that the country is not appreciative of the increased capacity on the sea bridge provided by the PNM-led government. While contributing to the budget debate in the Senate, Hislop said 2 specially built ferries were purchased for service on the sea bridge, yet the government receives little credit. As for increased fares, Hislop regretted that the measure became necessary, but he noted that it was unavoidable. He also criticized the PDP-led THA for using contractors from Central and South Trinidad instead of Tobagonian contractors. And nationally, former Attorney General Faris Harari refused to disclose whether Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and his cabinet were aware of the indemnity agreement signed with King's Counsel Vincent Nelson. He spoke at a virtual press conference on Wednesday to refute claims made by opposition leader Kamal Prasad Bisesa a day earlier. Both media conferences came after the Director of Public Prosecutions discontinued a bribery case against former Attorney General Anand Ramlogan and former UNC Senator Gerald Ramdeen. Harari accused Prasad Bisesa of misleading the public for Ramlogan and Ramdeen to escape prosecution. He refused to provide further details because the case was sealed, and he did not want to prejudice Nelson's lawsuit against the state. And that was your news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Julian and Rhea.
Thank you so much there, Candice. You know, always interesting developments coming to us by way of the news. But at this point, I'll particularly limit my comments in relation to this matter involving the former Attorney General and, you know, the Prime Minister and so on. I'd just leave it at very interesting. Very interesting in terms of these developments that we're seeing. To go to more direct matters at this point, a reminder, we have a school closure notice. That's a school closure notice coming from the Ministry of Education. Approval has been conveyed for the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, tutor, for time off for teachers to attend the National Convention of Educational Professionals 2022 on Friday, October 14th. That's tomorrow, Friday, October 14th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at each education district via a blended modality. As a result, schools will be closed on Friday, October 14th to facilitate this convention. So my understanding is that this is across Trinidad and Tobago, that schools will be closed in order to facilitate this conference. So parents, you know early enough, and in fact most schools would have also notified you via their group chats and so on, that schools will be closed tomorrow. So therefore alternative arrangements need to be made for your students. That will still allow you to be at work and to do your duty as we continue to be productive citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Most definitely, and I understand that today schools would be closed in Trinidad as a result of some river issues throughout Trinidad. So schools will be closed in Trinidad.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting developments happening there. So we head on over to our birthday celebrations this morning. Birthdays happening here.
All right.
Who do we get started with this morning?
Herself.
Some refer to her as the songstress, those vocals indeed. Yes, folks, it is Sharon Phillips. And we want to wish you a happy birthday, Sharon Phillips, coming to you from the Tobago Updates family.
And we've got Alan Stewart, the team, a man himself, celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday going out to you, Alan Stewart from the Tobago Updates family.
On screen with us this morning is Keishel Woodley, and wishing Keishel Woodley a happy, happy birthday.
Joel Johnson, Joel Zachary Johnson. Happy birthday going out to you this morning, Joel. Have a great one from the Tobago Updates family. My good friend out there, Alicia David, celebrating her birthday. Alicia, love going out to you this morning from the Tobago Updates family.
Vidal Rivers, wishing you a happy, happy birthday. Vidal Rivers.
Kalonji McLeod, celebrating his birthday today. Kalonji, lots and lots of love going out to you this morning from the Tobago Updates family.
And this is a birthday shout out a special birthday shout out here going to Meredith Murray. So birthday greetings going out to Meredith Murray from the USC Tobago and the Tobago Mission Mass Choir. Your family and friends, and from us here at the Tobago Updates family.
She seemed like
a big girl in the business there.
Don't touch me. She look but she talawa.
Yes. All right. So certainly birthday greetings going out to Meredith Murray, and we have on screen birthday greetings going out to Uncle Ivan Alexander, and this is coming from wife Auntie Clarice Alexander and their two children, Chrisan and Khalifa, in Atlanta, and the rest of the Joseph family, brother Simon, Vernris, Laverne, the entire family, wishing you a happy, happy birthday, Uncle Ivan. And on screen with us at this point is Assemblyman Joel Sampson, the Deputy Presiding Officer and Assistant Secretary within the Division of Infrastructure, and we're sending birthday greetings. I suspect he's going to spend part of this birthday working with all the happenings in the Tobago space and the Division of Infrastructure in particular, but we want to wish you a very happy birthday, Assemblyman Joel Sampson.
And you know, nothing is wrong with that. A lot of persons tend to take the day off, and that's good, but if you've got to work, you've got to work. So
well, Ria, I'm guilty. I'm one of those persons.
You take the time off.
I tend to try to take my time out, you know, from time to time, where it permits indeed.
Definitely,
yes?
Definitely.
All right. And just also as a quick reminder, we got some information coming out in relation to the Blue Food Festival. Shuttle and public transportation services in relation to the Blue Food Festival. The PTSC bus service from Gardenside Bus Shed Scarborough to Bloody Bay will run from 9 to 4. Remember, Blue Food happens this Sunday. Free shuttle service from Palatuvere Main Road and Bloody Bay Lookout. Shuttles will be available all day from 9 a.m. And then you have a paid shuttle service, $125 per person with complimentary drinks. And that will be from Scarborough to Bloody Bay. And you can contact the necessary individuals, Mr. Washington, a.k.a. Washi.
That's
all right. I always remember him from the Calypso lineup. You had to come good to beat Washi. All right. Certainly. So we're encouraging persons, feel free to make the necessary communications. Arrangements are being put in place to facilitate shuttles and public transportation services for the Blue Food Festival that's taking place.
All right. Most definitely. So that's what's coming up. So, Julian, are you going to be there on Sunday?
I'll be making all efforts to be. I have some other commitments, and I'm trusting that I will be back. I will be able to get away on time.
Okay.
To be able to head up to the north side, particularly to have some of that wine and so on. Very impressed indeed.
Some of us want to know, Julian, what became of the rest of the wine that was in the bottle?
Well, it's important to savor and then you consume. All right. No, but I'm really impressed. And I know I'm also even looking forward to some of the meals and so on. Let me take this time out to highlight my barber, Classic Cuts by Aquilon. And if anybody knows Classic Cuts at all, the Neds are also out up of the north side. And when I went for my haircut this week, he said, well, I hope you're making sure to put in your order early. So I know persons looking forward as well to the meals that they have up there. And I know persons on the north side are particularly excited about this Blue Food Festival. Certainly indigenous and something that they've worked on building and growing and developing over the years. What would be Blue Food without the residents of Northside?
All right, and to Here Sanctuary, good morning to one of our sponsors, Here Sanctuary, House of Norma, good morning to you, and yeah.
All right, viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support. I see in the mix with us this morning, Alicia, Ryan, Winnie, Andre, Kerry, Listra, Kuki, Kevin, Gloria, and we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support, folks. This is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Are you ready? On Sunday, 23rd October at the Dwight York Stadium, featuring a man who understands the assignment. Attention, Jesus, I get sick of it. The Lady's Choice.
Girl, you got the body of a goddess. Some girl I talk, tell them, say them happy.
Jamaica's hitmaker.
I tell us, say me now worry about no. As long as me got life.
DJ.
Me girl out the road, so she wanna love the woman on me yard.
Sunday, October 23rd, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. At the Dwight York Stadium is water, paint, foam, powder, coolers, and bikinis. And breakfast in the biggest Tobago and Tobago carnival. Soca Jam. Soca Jam.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Alright, Tobago Updates Morning Show. On a program this morning, we're chatting with James Trotman, who is the chairman of the Shore Park Food Hub. And this morning, it's all about the Food Hub and the grand opening. So good morning and welcome to
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This morning we are talking about the Shore Park Food Hub. And on our program this morning, Mr. James Trotman, the chairman, and it's all about the opening. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Trotman.
Good morning to you and morning to your viewers.
It's good to have you on the program with us this morning. All right, so we want to get started. Give us an idea of where this thing started, because I'm pretty excited. I hear food and I'm excited. I hear Food Hub and I'm thinking a variety of food. Where did this thing get started?
All right. So firstly, the Food Hub is an agro-tourism product. It is an initiative that was put forward by the Secretary for Food Security, and it is one of the pillars for economic development on the island of Tobago. Now, just a few months ago, a couple of us went to Grenada as a delegation, and we engaged in the chocolate festival.
Right.
And we observed the activities there in terms of agro and tourism. And therefore, when we returned to Tobago, we looked at how best we could use the Shore Park facility, which was dormant for approximately 2 years.
Right.
And we said, okay, let us use it for agro-processing, similar to how we have the Scarborough market. And a delegation was put together, a committee, and we further expanded on that idea, where we incorporated art and craft, entertainment, indigenous cuisine, and so on, as we focus on agro-processing value-added products. So it all started with that trip to Grenada, and here we are today with the idea of the Food Hub as we seek to entertain our locals and our visitors to our shores.
Now, what part of Shore Park, what part of the complex would be utilized? Because I know there is a no food and drink policy within the dome. Where are we talking about exactly?
So we are actually talking about that area that was once occupied by the Scarborough market vendors. So it is not actually the Shore Park complex, but actually the facility that was once used for the Scarborough market vendors. right? We are now renovating that facility to function as a food hub. And this is where the location is. It is close to the Shore Park complex, as you mentioned. It is in close proximity to the Comfort Inn Hotel and the Quick Shop, which is the gas station right next door.
Very, very convenient. Let's talk a little bit about some of the vendors that will be there. And is this going to be a one-off thing, or maybe folks from Trinidad can come next month and experience it as well?
That is the beauty of this food hub. It is not a one-off thing. It is actually a sustainable initiative, right? So on Monday, the 17th, we will have our launch, right? And our vendors would be able to use the facility free of charge. But subsequently, it would be a continuous initiative. So I think it is one of those projects that will transcend all of us.
All right, I see it's also been dubbed here the backyard lime, and backyard lime gives a different feel.
Yes, a different feel. Right. So we are using Monday as our backyard lime because we have at the food hub 2 dirt ovens, we have 3 firecrackers. As we are saying that we want to encourage that indigenous cuisine back into our everyday life. So we have this facility for it. We also have a food court, right? So then we have customers who can sit and enjoy this activity. So the backyard lime would also include a number of artists that will come and perform on the day. So October the 17th would be beautiful for all of us.
All right, who are some of the artists that would be at the backyard lime on Monday?
Yes. So we have show in Winchester.
Yes.
Right. As our team said, it is all thing Tobago. So we look for Tobago artists. So Mr. Show Winchester would be our featured artist, and he has promised to give a long and rewarding type of performance. So we also have performing the Tobago rhythm section. We have Jovan Jackson, aka Royal. We have Frankie D, Simba Lion, Jatifa, Trip, and also Maurice, right? We also have a number of mass bands as well, such as Astra Winchester, Finishers Plus, and Modern Mud, who would also be a part of the activities on Monday.
Just doing a display leading up to the carnival at the end of the month.
Yes.
All right, now tell us about the vendors, because I asked earlier about the vendors and whether or not this was going to be a one-off thing or a long-term thing, and you said it was going to be a long-term initiative. But in terms of the vendors, who are some of the vendors that will be there? What can persons expect?
Right. So the vendors that we are targeting is really agro-processors, right? So those who are doing confectionaries, those who are into preservatives, juices, punches. We are looking at art and craft, those who are doing branding of T-shirts and mugs and bamboo products, wood sculpture. We expect a lot of cooking as well.
There should, we hope so.
Yes. There will be a lot of cooking as well. And there will be entertainment. As the facility grows, there will be entertainment periodically.
All right. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. Now, is it too late for persons to get involved, those agro-processors who are looking on this morning and thinking, hey, this is a good idea for me, this is a good initiative for me? Can persons still get on board?
We had our registration from the 4th to the 10th of this month. Right. And actually today we will be doing the evaluation of those who wish to be a part of the activities on Monday. I can tell you now that we have an oversubscription in all of the areas.
I would imagine.
All of the areas. Yes. So those who do not get on board for the launch on Monday, they can certainly get involved as the facility continues to roll on.
All right. So what happens, and just for the information's sake here, as you continue this initiative, is it that over a period of time you would be able to bring on new members, new persons, new vendors, or would it be the same vendors until?
Right. So the beauty of this initiative is that it would run differently to the Scarborough market. You know, in the Scarborough market, we have vendors who pay on the whole e-stall.
Right.
With this initiative, no one will own a stall, a kitchen, or any items on the facility, right? It will have to be a pre-book. So it's a first come, first serve every day.
First
come, first serve every day. Pre-booking, yes.
Okay, and if you can, if you are able to sustain, if you're able to manage financially,
yes,
then you...
Yes, then you can pay for a week long or 2 weeks long, depending on your pocket, right? But at the end of the day, it's a first come, first serve. But those who pay for that period, obviously, they would hold their spot. Yes.
Okay. How can persons contact you for more information? And is this all on the division's website or Facebook page?
Yes. Right, so it is on the division website, and I know that flyers are being circulated. However, for more information, individuals can call 639-1966 or 639-2234, extension 3507. Or they can call TADCO, which is the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, who will be managing this facility at 639-4017.
All right. Now, if you were to tell our viewers this morning, you want them to come out, you know this project, you know the benefits of it. Yeah. What would you say to the viewers looking on this morning about why they should be there?
Right. So I'm saying to come out and assist or agro-processors and or artisans and those who engage in food products, right? As we open this facility on October the 17th, we expect it to be exciting. There will be entertainment, and most definitely the vendors ought to benefit as they showcase their product. We expect that in everyday activity, the vendors can see it as an expo as they market their product, and we expect that people would come in and patronize and so forth.
Definitely looking forward to Monday, I tell you that. All right, so thank you so much for being on the program with us this morning, Mr. Trotman.
Most definitely, I thank you.
All right, and all the best to you and the division, TADCO, and this initiative. All right, so viewers, lots more coming up on the program. In fact, when we come back, we're talking men as victims of domestic violence. So you can join Julian and our next guest as we share the live, share the live, share the live.
Roxanne Hepburn, the Managing Director of La Marche Parfait d'Espa. And now guess what? We're in Tobago and we are so excited to serve Tobago.
La Marche Parfait d'Espa Tobago will be open to the public from Monday the 5th. Some of the services that you can access would be infrared body steam, spa parties, body treatments, massages, pedicures, manicures, waxing, carbiation, radio, and lipo slimming and cellulite wrap treatment. We are located at number 1 Main Road, Barrington's Court, Bonaccord Village.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And it's just about 7:35 a.m. this morning. And just before we head on into this segment, we've got a birthday for you, a birthday in the mix this morning. This morning we want to send birthday shout-outs to Sandra O'Tony. I'm taking the opportunity to wish you a happy birthday, Sandra O'Tony, and God's continued blessings coming from the entire Tobago Updates family. Viewers, in this segment, we're heading into a discussions with Rhonda Thompson-Benjamin, counseling psychologist. And this morning, we're speaking about men as victims of domestic violence. Yes, men as victims of domestic violence. Morning to you.
Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. It's such a wonderful pleasure to be here this morning.
And it's always a joy to be able to interview and to engage with you. As we get started and head straight on into the topic, I want you to give us a sense as to what the statistics are like when it comes to domestic violence, and in particular men as victims of domestic violence.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you started there, because in 2020 we realized that 20% of the reports by the TTPS and the National Domestic Violence Hotline, we received 20% of reports from men only. Yeah, so some persons may not know that this is a social problem, but a social problem really is a problem that affects a large number of people. And we know when we are talking about domestic violence, it not only affects the person that is being violated, but entire families and communities. So this is really a problem that we would really need to discuss and to get under control.
Tell us something. It is often said. How would you define domestic violence? Let's look at the definition of domestic violence, and then we'll go into some of the specifics.
Yes. So domestic violence is basically violence that happens in our homes. So it can be intimate partner violence. It can be child abuse and abuse that happens among our various family members. So when we hear domestic, we should think about home or house violence that happens in our familiar, our close relationships.
So when you see people doing certain things in this space, and somebody indicate, in our Tobago parlance or in the region that is one good slap he or she need. Will those kinds of things also amount to what you describe as domestic violence?
Of course. When we talk about domestic violence, we are talking about having a level of control. Any form of violence, it's the core of that is to control a particular person. So when we promote these narratives and we say it so casually, we don't understand the impact that it may have on our family members. So we tend to believe that is okay. If we listen to some of our music that is being promoted, sometimes it's something really good for a female to be a wicked girl. yeah, or wicked girl,
Yes.
yes? And these are things that are being promoted in our society, and if we do not take stock of it, we would have a deeper issue on our hands that we may not be able to control.
So tell us, there has to be some kind of objection to it, because if we are to advance the discussion just a little bit more, when adults are engaging in some levels of, sexual intercourse and so on and enjoying each other, there may be some level of physical interaction. It doesn't count as domestic violence at that point.
No. Well, once both parties agree, yeah, once one partner is not trying to dominate another, once expectations are discussed, of course, that will not relate to domestic violence. On the other hand, however, many persons experience domestic violence and they do not know they are experiencing domestic violence. So they think that it's okay if he slaps me, that's okay. I saw my mother experiencing this, so, this is something that is normal in our society. So it's really important for us to have these discussions so people will know that this is an issue and it affects us as a society.
Where do men draw that line in terms of defining something as domestic violence as opposed to probably taking what might be the macho stand? Let me show you who is the boss here. Where is that line drawn? Knowing particularly the challenge that comes when I have the toss-up, do I report it as domestic violence or do I show her who is really the man and wearing the pants in this relationship? Have you seen scenarios like that?
Yes. In my work with men, sometimes it's difficult for them to see or grasp the concept that they are being abused. And that is shaped by society. We think it's okay to get a slap or a tap now and then. Yeah, it's okay to be called names. If I am unemployed, you could tell me I'm stupid and broke. Yeah, and we feel as though these things are understood. Somehow we rationalize these behaviors and justify those behaviors. If it was on the other hand, you find that if a man was saying something like that to a woman, there may be some issues. And, I usually peruse comments of videos where persons are being abused, especially men maybe throwing their clothes outside and burning it, and persons would make assumptions that, he probably did something. But if it was on the other shoe, people would say, maybe it doesn't matter what she would have done. That is unacceptable. So we really have to break these stereotypes. And men, the same issues that women experience, those are acts of violence to you as well. So of course, there is a need for communication, conflict resolution, and all of that. But if that is not working, taking issues into your own hand, you may cause future concerns or additional problems for you. So it's important for you to identify examples of abuse, identify them, and take the necessary steps to curb these issues.
What would you say are some of the avenues available to men? Because I naturally we recognize in our society treating or as you rightfully said, taking the report to the TTPS sometimes seems to be a if, but, or maybe because you ain't too sure, how the thing will make me look, and then you reach in there and then they probably ask you sure the woman abusing your boy? Those kind of things that kind of throw you off a bit. What avenues are available to men who believe that they are victims of domestic violence?
Well, let me say, regardless of the response you receive by the TTPS, you should make a report. Yes, it might be embarrassing, but you need to cover yourself. You need to lodge these reports. Of course, if you would have received, maybe victimization when you make these reports, of course, you can go and report this to the higher authorities. So that particular individual, that officer will be held accountable because it's an issue of accountability. Everybody have to take responsibility for their actions, yes? So we know we have the DV hotline, that is 800-SAVE. When I say DV, domestic violence hotline. Of course, you could receive counseling services from the Division of Health and Social Protection. Just walk into the office, give them a call, and they would be able to assist you. Of course, we have the gender-based violence unit that is based in Roxborough Police Station. You can also make a report there, and they would be able to guide you in terms of what you can do maybe to get out of this situation.
So would you advise in circumstances like that, where there are issues of domestic violence, that it's probably the safer thing to leave?
Yes, sometimes you have to leave if this person is not making the necessary steps to change. You would realize that after a time, it affects the way that you view yourself, the way that you view the world, and you realize that this trickles into all aspects of your life. So you realize that your mood is changed. Every day you are upset. Of course, you may not be able to perform well at work. It will impact your parenting styles. And all of these are some of the effects. So if this situation is not changing, there are some times that you really need to leave.
Would you say that upbringing is a critical component in terms of, how do you break that stereotype? So, for example, I always tell persons, I come from a household where my father has repeated time after time to me, I have lived for 50 plus years, and I have not had the reason to hit a woman, so don't come and tell me in your short time that you end up getting tied up in something like that. Whoever tell me. But there are households where people see the very opposite. You see that your father is getting abused, or you see that your mother is getting abused, and then you think that that is unnatural. How do you break free from that kind of, what you have grown up in and what you have seen and probably gotten accustomed thinking, this is the same thing I have to do as a man, or this is the same thing I have to do as a woman to keep my partner in check?
Yeah, and that is a really important question, because you find that it's difficult to break habits. Social learning, you would have seen this happening in your family for generations. How do I make that change? I think the first step is to really get educated. Yes, what is domestic violence? What are the various forms of domestic violence? What are some of the consequences of some of these behaviors on my children, on my spouse, on my other family members, of my community? What are some of the consequences? And then if you need professional help, because in most cases you would need professional help, and feel free to reach out for that help. It's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable and say, you know what, I need help. And of course, further down the line, you may save yourself maybe from a death. Or from other injuries, or being incarcerated, and all of these things. So it's really necessary that we become educated and get the help that we really, really need.
I like what you touched on there. Give us an idea. What are some of the different types of or forms in terms of that you see domestic violence coming in, particularly common within our space here in the Caribbean?
And when we think about domestic violence against men, because that is the topic for today, of course we have physical violence. You pelt in the plate, right? That violence that causes physical harm or injury, choking, maybe slapping. And of course we have emotional violence, where there are threats, name calling. If you don't give me this amount of money for my nails, I will put you in court, and you will have to pay this amount of money for child support and all of that. If a man threatens to leave, you empty the bank account and he has no money to survive. Those kind of things. And financial abuse is another one, where of course, just as the emotional abuse, it ties into the financial abuse. I don't have access to my bank cards, and many persons may say that never happens, but it does. In my interaction with men, some of them, they may not have access to their finances. They do not have a say in terms of where their money is being utilized. So we have to pay attention to all of these factors and really give men the support that they need.
All right. As we look, we're almost out of time this morning for this interview. I want you to remind particularly our men folk, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, when I'm in conversation and groupings with men, I'm probably contributing when I make this statement that them things can happen with me, but not knowing that there might be another man within the circle. They're facing those kinds of pressures, and recognizing that you might be able to talk out as you would like to. What would be I want you to remind those men out there again who may be in situations and circumstances that you have just described. Before we wrap this morning, remind them of the avenues that are available to them in terms of receiving support, and any words of encouragement that you would want to give in your capacity as a counseling psychologist.
Yes, I would just want to remind men who are experiencing domestic violence that you are not alone. There are many persons in society having these similar experiences, and it just takes one man to say enough is enough. get the help, and many of the societal ills that we are experiencing will be eliminated. So remember that you are worthy. If nobody told you that this morning, you are worthy of love and respect. Remember that there are various avenues, 800 SAVE, the Division of Health and Wellness. You go there, you may not have to tell them all the issues initially, but let them know that you need counseling and support. So remember again that help is available.
I have an interesting WhatsApp very quickly.
Yes.
Skeet, that is why we just make sure and have 2 or 3 other women to make us feel more comfortable. How do you respond to that very quickly?
Yeah.
Because of the challenges in one household.
Yeah, and sometimes when we feel as though our needs are not met, we look for various avenues for those needs to be met, and that is a challenging thing, and I am happy that you brought it up,
Yes.
whoever that person was. But even in that, you would find that there may be other issues coming in terms of stress management. If you're having difficulty with one person, the stress may be taken into other relationships and the problem is not solved.
But at least they're not getting abused there.
In other relationships. So you see, it's a really tricky situation.
It is.
So we really have to be careful in terms of our, choices and taking time to date and getting to know somebody and knowing the avenues that are available
So you
to
don't
us.
subscribe to that method of distressing at all?
I don't subscribe because it may cause other concerns. I believe that we need to get to the root of the issue.
All right. Any and a follow-up to it. How does the challenge then occur, which is how other women look at that men? When I report domestic violence and appear to have not dealt with it, the relationship didn't work out and are looking to move on now to another lady, and she seems to know about that situation. Does it affect the view or perspective of that man, the macho nature that our society dictates?
Yes, of course, there is always that challenge, yes. Sometimes when we see men move on from relationships, we make certain assumptions without knowing the facts of the matter. So some persons may say, look at him, he didn't care about her, etc., etc. And, that may cause problems for him. But being strong sometimes means, walking away. Because if you have a connection with someone, if you are intimate with that person, it's difficult to walk away. Yes. So walking away can mean strength in this particular situation.
Excellent. Thank you so much. There's so much more to chat about. Interviewing Rhonda is always exciting, and she's always so prepared and ready. And we want to thank, and I think it's fitting for me to close this morning's interview with the words of one of our viewers, Lucretia Williams. Excellent job, Rhonda Thompson Benjamin. And don't worry, viewers, we're going to have her back on so that she can continue to give us this information and guidance as we go forward based on her background as a counseling psychologist. Thank you so much again for joining us here on set at the Tobago Updates morning show.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Viewers, we're heading on out for a break this morning, but we want you to stay tuned, remember, and stay connected. Coming up in our next interview this morning, we have Nikosi Phillips, ambassador for TT Youth Will Rise, and we will be doing that interview. So we look forward to connecting. We invite you to stay tuned, and this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
This is it.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Exhale Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, morning.
We are chatting this morning with the ambassador for TT Youths Will Rise, Nkosi Phillips, not here in an official capacity as the political leader, but as the ambassador of TT Youths Will Rise. And this morning our focus is on Canacopia, Carnival and Mass. It's on. Good morning and welcome to Nkosi.
Good morning, Ria. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, our listening viewers. Also, I want to extend a happy good morning to my Pakistani ambassador friend and also all the way in Slovakia and South Africa. They are viewing this morning. They want to take in to see what I'm doing in the country. So they are listening and they are watching us live this morning.
So Pakistan and Slovakia is on this morning?
Yes, high profile person. So they're watching at us to make sure that we behave ourselves.
Good morning. Before we get into things, where's your phone? Because whenever you're on set with me, I need to know where your phone is.
Well, my phone is very far this morning. It was taken away from me before I came to set.
Good,
so it's good. So we're safe this morning.
Then we're safe. So no phones, no phones on set. Because no phones on set. Now, Nkosi, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program with us. We're talking this morning about Canacopia. I want to know where did Canacopia come from, and what propelled this initiative?
Well, when the whole debacle started, where persons on the mass bands and calypso and say they were left out and they don't know what's going on with the carnival and stuff, so I said, you know what, let me snap into action one time and put something together.
Right.
Cani is the use of carnival.
Right.
Copia is something like utopia, where you bond everything together, and it's a peaceful environment. It's an environment that associates with everything omitted to carnival.
Right.
So when I put Cani and Copia together, we came up with Canacopia, Carnival, Mass and Calypso Monarch competition.
All right, now this is very interesting, and I want to go back a little bit here because there was a carnival debacle where stakeholders were saying that they were not getting information in a timely manner, and this could have been just about a month or so ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, earlier before that. That's before the trip to, I think it's Grenada that they went.
Before the trip to Grenada.
Yeah.
But just about a month ago, you had a meeting, there was a virtual meeting that I was online with. I was privy to, where you chatted with the Minister of Sport and Community Development, Shamfa Kujo. I was on the live, and there was a discussion about, you met with stakeholders and the minister, and there was a discussion about, you know, the manner in which in fact, the timely manner in which information was coming to the stakeholders. Let's go back to that point.
Okay, well, that was the meeting with the Honorable Minister Shamfa Kujo, the mass band leaders and president, also Calypsonians and other stakeholders who had that meeting, and we would have shared our views and concern as to what was happening. And then out of that meeting, we got some suggestions from the Honorable Minister, which we had put into place. We have done everything we're supposed to do. She also said, you know, go back to the Secretary of Tourism and, you know, make that an apology and stuff, and which I did have that meeting with the Honorable, the Secretary of Tourism, and we had a very good dialogue. And with the dialogue, I also would have made an apology to her, because I then understood as to why certain things were not being accepted, and I understood, and we had a very meaningful conversation. And I also said that I'm going to apologize to her the next time I'm on a set. I don't want it to be an apology that I'm rushed into saying I apologize just to get something, but at the end of the day, I do apologize. I now understand some of the reasons as to why she could not respond, or with the responses that I got. And we move forward from there. We also had a conversation as to her saying that she would try to sponsor or to do the infrastructural part of the event.
Right.
And we're still waiting on the response from that, because when last I did an update, they're still doing their budgets for that, to make sure with all proposals for the Cornucopia and all Carnival budgets. So we're waiting on a response from the Secretary of Tourism in regards to their part in the infrastructure. And also we also invited an Olivans to them as well, to bring their tents and to bring any memorabilia or anything that they would like to be a part of the event. And we're going to extend that to all divisions as well. Any youth division, if you want to bring something, because Cornucopia is going to be a fun day. Right. It's just not only about the Calypso and mass bands. We're going to have extendable competitions. We're going to have the parade. We're going to have a parade from the Buku Junction coming straight down with all the mass bands. But the mass bands that are going to be there, we're going to have also pan. We're not going to have the persons in the competition, for example, with the junior king, the junior queen, the senior queen, senior king, senior male individual, the old mass king and queen. Those persons will not be in the street procession, because we want, when our audience comes to, because at the gate
you want them fresh and
ready. You want them to fresh and ready, because it's a show and a production we're going to be putting on. Right. So that is where we're at so far. With the meeting with the minister, we sent our proposals to the Ministry of Tourism, also the Office of the Prime Minister, and we're sending all the documents that we need to get in terms of funding. So we are still waiting for that part of it.
All right. No, I'm glad that you mentioned all of that. You don't want the junior king and queen, senior king and queen to be on to be on the street for the procession.
Yeah.
All right. So who is going to be at Cornucopia for that street procession?
Well, what we did, we are opening we are still calling, because on Saturday we're having a meeting with all interested persons to finalize everything, to put the program together in place, because we are opening also to bands who, like for example, Fog Angels, all these other bands who will take part in the carnival. If you want to highlight your pieces in the event, you all are free to come, or you don't have to pay for the registration. Let's be a part of the street procession. We're going to open also where you could have booths to set up your pieces. You could let people see your pieces. Where persons from Trinidad, we also have a good set of people coming from Trinidad, because they would have reached out to us. And also our old mass band from Trinidad has asked to be a part of the show. So, you know, we've extended our reaches to Trinidad, and I've always seen Trinidad and Tobago. I've never left it out as Tobago alone. And we're going to have a fun time. We're opening it all to vendors. On Saturday, the meeting is going to be at the Buko Integrated Facility at 4 p.m. We're calling all vendors. We're calling all mass band, all Calypsonian interested. We also want to extend an opening invitation to all soca artists who have not been a part of anything in the carnival, who have felt left out on anything. We have that. We're going to...
You have space
yes,
for
we
them.
have space because we want this event to not just be about Calypso Carnival, it must be the elements of make up Cornucopia. Cornucopia is the elements of what Carnival is supposed to be about. So we're just giving them a touch of everything. We're giving you the opportunity to perform and share your music and let people see the talent that you have. So we're just opening it up for now for everybody. Everybody who wants to be a part of it, you want to extempo, it's all there for you.
And when does this take place?
This takes place on Friday, the 21st of October. I think we want to start the street procession at 3 p.m. I'm coming into the village and coming into the facility. And at 6 p.m. sharp, we will start the production. And we will start with we're going to mix it. We're going to have Calypso into some of the production of the mass. We're going to have extempo. We're going to mix the whole show. And we're going to have a fun day. We're going to have bouncy castles. We are also calling on those fun and games persons to come. And, you know, this is an event for everybody. So you all come at the gates. The price structure at the gate, I think 3 kids. 3 kids at $55, adults $60, a child is $25. Well, we have the ages of that from $17 to $25. And we have packages for them. We also have a VIP section. If you want to be in the VIP section, we have cocktails and we have certain things that are going to be there and things. So we're going to have a fun day. It's a fun day. It's the first time event. In terms of sponsorship, that's the next thing.
All right, but you have sponsors already.
What we have so far, we have committed sponsors in terms of packaging and hampers and stuff. We have not had the price structures yet. Okay, we're still awaiting sponsorship confirmation for the price structure. So what we're going to do, let me tell you something. I have a very wonderful team and I'm working with a lot of smart people. With the Calypsonians and the mass person so far, they said, you know what, we're going to put on the show whether or not we have the prizes or not. We are going to make it happen because we already started this. We're supporting you and we're with you. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the show still and have the production. And when fund becomes available, we're going to just have a prize giving ceremony. We're still going to have the competition as it is and we go with the flow. Because we don't want to have this all out there now and then at the end of the day, no show. That's not me. Right? Even though I have to stand up there and hold the stage in my hand, hold the flag in my hand and everything, I have a good committed team. I have these mass band people and Calypso, and so far they are very, very, supportive. And I don't want to let them down. So, you know, let's come out and have a great show. Right now we're calling on the sponsors to at least, you know, come on board still. We're having a lot of problem with sponsors and I don't even want to go through now because I'm trying to push positivity with this event going forward. We have too much of negativity in this space and I don't really need that right now. So I'm focusing on this event. I'm focusing on the success of the event. I'm focusing on giving the Calypsonians, the mass band, the soca artists, everyone an opportunity to highlight what the true meaning of the essence of Carnival in Tobago is.
All right. Now, I know that you're never shy about taking to social media whenever there's an issue. And I know that there was an issue surrounding the sponsorship or the sponsors with this particular event and persons taking to social media or contacting or reaching out to some of the sponsors indicating that the event was a hoax and that it was not real and was not going to happen. But you did go live quite recently to clear that issue up. Is there anything that you'd like to say on that issue about, or this issue about the sponsorship and what persons have been putting out there within the Tobago space with regards to the sponsors?
Well, I've always said it. Stupidity lacks the wills of some people. And it will always happen when you have those type of negative people. And they will continue to attack me and I will continue to rise above everything. And what I would like to say to the sponsors, Cornucopia, Carnival Mass and Calypso Production is on. We want your support as much as possible. If you know you can't give financially, whatever assistance you can give, it is not a problem. It is so sad that people will take the time out, like if they have nothing to do. Some of the sponsors were saying, but this is not a THA event, and we were told about. I was like, But where did that come from? So I said to them, I had to plead with them, just forget about them and focus on this. I gave you a proposal. I had to send some of the interviews that we had before that to some of the sponsors to okay, but this is different to what the persons were saying. So there will always be negative people in the space of Tobago, and there will always be negative people who don't like and approve the things that I do. But it is not for me. It is for the people of Tobago. As I said before, if I was killing, raping, kidnapping or somebody, they would have supported me. But I'm trying to do something beneficial for the people, for the culture of Trinidad and Tobago, and the negativity. So at the end of the day, continue bringing negativity, and I will continue to rise above all. So I don't have time for that. I have time to look at what is missing in our community. As you're seeing with the crime, you're seeing the elements of what is happening is because the negativity continues to rise above, and I'm not going to let that happen on this watch. I'm focused on the cornucopia. I am urging the sponsors to whatever you have. Even though it's $1, we will take it. Whatever you have and the support, I'm calling also on the THA. Yes, I spoke to the Secretary of Tourism. I know she said she's going to look into the infrastructure, but I also submitted this document to the Chief Secretary, and up to now, not a response or anything. And I'm calling on the THA. Whatever assistance you can give us for this production to even go off, we really need the assistance as much as possible. We have waiting on the confirmation of some of our sponsors and the ministries in Trinidad, and it will happen. And I'm calling on the sponsors to please lend that hand that we need to make this event happen. It is next week Friday. We don't have much time. Whatever commitment you can, we're asking all our personnel of the infrastructure, anybody can help. And it's so good because I made some calls last night and asked persons, okay, we want a music truck for the parade. And look at it, we have them saying, okay, good, like CHE songs. Mr. Dwight, very, very, very good person. One phone call, that was it. I went to some of the places yesterday. I walked around Scarborough looking at sponsors, and when I tell them about what is happening, they're on board already. They say they may not give us finance, but they will give us whatever they can, and that is what we like. That is the positivity we like. And persons spreading that negativity, take that time and meet me in person, and let's share that negativity together. And I'll make sure by the time you finish, leave in my presence, you will have something positive to say, not only about me, but about people in Tobago on a whole.
Okay. All right, and I'm glad that I asked that question there and that you were able to clarify things there. But Nikos, we want to wish you all the best with this event. I know that there is a meeting coming up, you indicated, with stakeholders for all those persons who are interested. When is that meeting?
That meeting is on Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Buku Community Center, not the integrated facilities. I think the community center is now named the Buku Multipurpose Facility. That is right opposite Vels, the light, or right in the school road, Buku School Road. That center will be meeting at 4 o'clock. Calling on all vendors, mass persons, calypsonians, extempo, every person who is interested in this event. Your registration ends on that day. After that, we are not taking anybody else, because I want to make sure we have a packed show. We want to give a good production to the people of Trinidad and Tobago who will be coming, and we want this thing to go good. So I am extending that invitation to anybody who is interested, vendors, everybody. On that day, we're going to be there. If you have any information, you can also contact me at 297-5667, and you will get more information if you want.
All right, so you can call or WhatsApp that number.
Yes, you can call or WhatsApp that number.
All right, so thank you so much again, Ikosi, for being on the program with us. And to those viewers who are asking, let me just answer your question here. No, Nikosi does not have any pictures to show me this morning, so I'm just letting you know there are no pictures. Nikosi's phone is actually offset, so there will be no pictures being shown on the show this morning. All right, so have a great day, Tobago. We head over to GMT with Candice coming up. So viewers, stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
This is what you call community pride. The village of Lambo is on a drive to foster greater togetherness in the area. So, the new Lambo Village Council Executive embarked on its first official activity, with the aim to revive this seaside fishing community.
The executive, we decided that we needed to find activities or a activity to generally to start to get the community back together, to show that love and to work together and to, have something to fellowship.
Lambo Village is teeming with life and energy. The blowing of the conch shell to alert passers-by that there is fresh fish available, or the melodious voices of the fishermen announcing their catch. Kingfish, redfish, dolphin, snapper. The fisher folk line the pavement with their catch of the day. So, according to President Kurt Moses, the first activity was a no-brainer, hosting a fishing tournament.
Lambo has a lot of fishermen. I think it's one of the villages that sell one of the most set of fish on the island. So yeah, that was one of the main things that we came up. And fishing is a sport that helps relax persons. It's a sport that persons love to do. It's a sport that's good for family. And Lambo has the environment that you can stand up from the shore, off the wall and fish it.
PRO Alison Thomas says this event is the first of many to come. She says the community is intent on showing that it has as much to offer as other Tobago villages.
We want this to be a calendar event and Rise Back Lambo. Everybody must hear about Lambo. You must hear about Castara here in Mariah. We want you all to hear about Lambo.
To keep up with all that's going on in Lambo, as well as future activities, visit the council on Facebook at Lambo VC.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hail my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. TNTech launched an investigation into the island-wide blackout that occurred yesterday. At 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday, customers throughout Tobago lost electricity. They determined that the issue originated out of the Cove Power Station. 10 minutes after the island-wide power outage, customers began receiving electricity again in the Crown Point and Bonaccord areas. Despite all customers were restored by 12:30 p.m. Despite the prompt reconnection, TNTech officials remained in the dark about the exact cause of the blackout. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, Senator Lawrence Hislop told the Senate that the country is not appreciative of the increased capacity on the sea bridge provided by the PNM-led government. While contributing to the budget debate in the Senate, Hislop said two specially built ferries were purchased to service the sea bridge, yet the government receives little credit. As for the increased fares, Hislop regretted that the measure became necessary. However, he noted it was unavoidable. He also criticized the PDP-led THA for using contractors from Central and South Trinidad instead of Tobagonian contractors. And nationally, Former Attorney General Faris Arari refused to disclose whether Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and his cabinet were aware of the indemnity agreement signed with King's Counsel Vincent Nelson. He spoke at a virtual press conference on Wednesday to refute claims made by opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar a day earlier. Both media conferences came after the Director of Public Prosecutions discontinued a bribery case against former Attorney General Anand Ramlogan and former UNC Senator Gerald Ramdeen. Arari accused Persad-Bissessar of misleading the public for Ramlogan and Ramdeen to escape prosecution. He refused to provide further details because the case was sealed and he did not want to prejudice Nelson's lawsuit against the state. And that was the news in 90 seconds. And well, viewers, like I said, there's so much happening with our space. We're also hearing news that, Virgin Atlantic has pulled out of, will be pulling out of Tobago by the end of the year due to, low numbers on board that flight. Although while that is unfortunate, we are looking forward also to seeing what other flights might be able to come on board. And that's a discussion we can get on into the next coming days and weeks with the various tourism stakeholders. But we are still, there's still a lot happening where, the budget is concerned. And yesterday, the debate moved to the Senate. And of course, one of the contributors so far was none other than our Tobago senator on the government side, and that is Mr. Lawrence Hislop. And he is on with us this morning. So good morning and welcome to you. How are you doing? I think you might need to turn on your mic, Mr. Hislop.
My apologies. Morning, Candice. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am well. I am well.
All right, great. So, one of the things that you said in your contribution yesterday to the budget debate in the Senate was that, there's not enough appreciation within the country for the measures the PNM-led government took to ensure that there is capacity on the sea bridge. Care to elaborate on this?
Well, I don't know if appreciative is the word, but what I would like to say is that we need to give credit where credit is due, because what I alluded to is the fact that we accept the licks when we don't do right, but there is a deafening silence, and I guess the old adage that says silence means consent could fall in here. So the silence is that something is being done right, is being done correctly. So the only time we hear in Trinidad and Tobago or something is highlighted is when it's bad. So that's the point I was making. I was making the point that the government has not been given the highlights or the credit for the situation on the sea bridge being the way it is, the capacity, the efficiency. Because as I was sharing with someone, I could literally set my watch by the ferry schedule, because more often than not, the ferries leave on time 7 days a week, whether it's 6:30 or 8:30. So that's the point I was making. That the silence, we're not given the audible credit, but I guess the silence is the credit.
Well, one might argue that, there's always been some sort of predictability in terms of the scheduling for the sea bridge, except for those years that, there were problems. There were evident problems, and that was like 2017, 2018 or so. And then there's also that argument that the government had to do something because of that situation that developed during the time that the PNM was in power.
Yeah, and remember the situation developed because of a lack of maintenance that basically transpired before the PNM was in office. So I want to remind the population that it was a PNM-led administration that implemented the fast ferry service, both PNM in Trinidad and PNM in Tobago. Because if we remember the history of it, the first ferry that came that the government brought on a trial was the cat, and we held that for a 6-month period until we were able to acquire 2 ferries of our own, whether they were second-hand roll on roll off. We were still able to acquire 2 ferries of our own, which service the Sea Bridge well. That's the TNT Express and the TNT Spirit. And because these vessels were aging and the maintenance didn't keep up, the maintenance schedule was not kept, these vessels got to a point where they were unserviceable or they were unpredictable in their service. And so the government had to take a decision, but the government took a significant decision at a significant cost to the state, to acquire 2 brand new ferries that has made the service very predictable and very reliable and very efficient.
Now, I mean, you also mentioned that the increases on both the sea bridge and the air bridge were unavoidable, but they are necessary. And you wish that they weren't necessary. You wish that, for instance, seniors could continue traveling on the ferries free of charge. But as you just said, those ferries were purchased at a cost, and that cost needs to now be dealt with. And unfortunately, because of the financial situation that we find ourselves in as a country, that's just one of the measures in which we can recover that cost. But you also defended the increase in the sense that it is part of the measures to put predictability on that inter-island travel. But there's a lot of concerns among the public that we don't know that there can be that an increased fare, especially where the air bridge is concerned, that there is going to be sufficient efficiency on that air bridge. What do you say to that?
Well, I'm calling on Caribbean Airlines to make sure that there is a predictability and an efficiency on the airline, on the air bridge. But let me tell you something. Bar the peak periods, and we must give Caribbean Airlines some credit, because the flights are usually on time. The flights actually a lot of the times leave before the scheduled time. And by the peak period, sometimes you traveling on an off-peak flight, off-peak period, the flight is half filled. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was returning to Tobago, and they gave me a seat number that was way up inside the plane, and when I got in, I didn't recognize why, and because they were literally trying to balance off the plane because the plane was half empty. So we know that the challenges with capacity, and usually the challenges with capacity on the air bridge is encountered at peak travel, peak seasons. And what we've seen is that we've seen Caribbean Airlines increase the flights for the October Carnival at month end. And usually when you look at the numbers of people, the number of passengers that Caribbean Airlines moves on a monthly basis, or even at peak times, when you look at the number of passengers they move, it is extraordinary. But I know that it remains a bugbear, and I am calling on Caribbean Airlines to make sure that let's figure out a way. Let's seriously figure out a way to make the service more efficient. But passengers have to be reminded that this is not City Gate, so you can't just pull up to Crum Point or Piaco and flag down the plane as if you flag it down a maxi.
But then, there's also that argument that there needs to be a service like that, because the truth is that a lot of us in Tobago, we depend on that connectivity with Trinidad to, jump on a plane at a moment's notice. Because that's just unfortunately the way things are set up within our country, that we have to go to Trinidad to access certain services that are not available in Tobago.
But Candice, the reality is an airline is built on a schedule. Let's remember that Caribbean Airlines, and that's why we need to, I guess, work towards, after all these years, really figuring it out, because we have to bear in mind that Caribbean Airlines also is an international airline.
But then how do you fix that inter-island travel? Because again, the reason why people need to travel It's usually for essential services, and that's of course coming from Tobago. Now, people coming from Trinidad is a different story because they are coming to vacation, and those persons, I mean, rightfully should plan ahead. But then there should be some measure or some ability for us to be able to travel freely, you know, to access what we need to access in Trinidad.
But most of the times, Candice, if you travel in the off-peak time, if you go to the airport, you will get a flight to go to Trinidad. So if you, let's say you're traveling September month, more often than not, if you go down to Crown Point during the month of September, October, but now that we have Carnival, the end of the month is a challenge. But if you travel in September, you travel in October, you leave home, you go down to the airport, which is something I have done as well. I go down to, and let me make it clear, this is something I have done before I was given the appointment as senator. So it is not, so that period, that time when I wasn't a senator, I still had to operate like every other citizen. So it wasn't about me afforded.
We should schedule our emergencies or those things outside of those peak periods?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we ought to schedule our emergencies. What I'm saying is that we will always have a difficulty during peak season to get a flight at the drop of a hat, because I was having a conversation with someone that even in the big United States with all these airlines, if you go to an airport just at the drop of a hat, 4th of July or Thanksgiving, you are not going to get a flight, because that's the United States peak season. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, that's your peak time for travel. And so it is, I think it is a bit challenging for us to hold, and I'm choosing my words carefully, to hold Caribbean Airlines to ransom, especially at peak times when you have limited seat capacity in a plane that travels within a set schedule. I think it's challenging for us to hold Caribbean Airlines to ransom if I pick up, go down to the airport last minute, whether it be an emergency or not, last minute, during peak travel, and expect to get a seat on the next flight. And we also must give them some credit in the sense that more often than not, if you're on standby, you are still moved. Now, no airline is what's the word, is obligated to move a standby passenger, because the priority is given to confirm passengers. But Caribbean Airlines, in a lot of instances, and I may get licked because people may say I'm defending Caribbean Airlines, but in a lot of instances, Caribbean Airlines is able at some point in time in the day to take up its standby lap. And we have to give them, it's not a perfect system, but when you look at the numbers of people, numbers of passengers that Caribbean Airlines moves on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, it's not, that's not seen anywhere else in the Caribbean. Now the dynamic.
I was just about to say that the dynamics are different for domestic travel as opposed to international travel.
Yeah, yes, it is. No, but when I say in other Caribbean islands, I'm talking about Caribbean islands with the same kind of makeup, with two islands representing one state or several islands. So it has to be. I believe that Caribbean Airlines can do better, and there is a call for them to do better. But let's. I think a lot of the times we need to find the positives in situations, and not every minute be beating up on the negatives and making a set of noise. Let's look at the positives in life in Trinidad and Tobago, because there's a lot to smile about. There's a lot to be thankful for. So if we look at it, as we always say, look at the glass half full instead of half empty, and figure out a way to get the rest of water for the glass.
And I mean, just before we wrap up, you also made some comments during your presentation regarding the employ of Trinidadian contractors, specifically contractors from South and Central Trinidad, by the THA, and this is for the construction of several roads here in Tobago that's about to get launched. And you made some, you alluded to some things that there might be more than just hiring those contractors. There might be something more. Care to elaborate a bit on that?
Candice, you saw me allude to something more. I stated the facts as there. I didn't I didn't allude to anything. I said what is in black and white, that we have 6 roads that in total is costing over $300 million. That there are contractors in Tobago with capacity and track record to do the work. And that's it. And I find it passing strange that we ought to be sending all that money right back to Trinidad. And I asked the question, how does it benefit Tobago? Listen, I stand by what I said. I have no problem with contractors from Trinidad getting work in Tobago, but when 6 out of 6 goes to Trinidad, any Tobagonian should have a challenge with that. So I stand by that.
Why point out the region for where these contractors came from?
But it is South and Central Trinidad. I'm not alluding to anything. It is Trinidad. If I could say they gave work to they would give.
Oh my. Okay, unfortunately, I think we might have lost Senator. Oh, there we go. We have him back.
Yeah. What I said is that is me alluding to the location to me is not, that's not, or me pointing out the location is not me alluding to anything. They come from South and Central Trinidad. That's where they come from. That's where they're based. If Junior Sammy got a contract in Tobago, I'll see Junior Sammy from Claxton Bay. That's just where the contractor is based. That's nothing. It's not alluding to anything. You would like me to allude something at this?
Well, it's not for me to allude to anything, you know. I mean, I'm just trying to get a little bit more details as to what was said in the Senate yesterday. No. I mean, and then another thing that was pointed out was that of course, Tobago contractors are being bypassed. However, the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development stated that these contractors were hired on a basis where they get the work done and they finance the work up front for payment at a later date. So the monies that are going to be paid to them are not going to come out of the development budget for 2023.
When is it going to come out?
Are there any contractors in Tobago that are able to fit such a model?
So my question to that is, when are they going to get paid? Are they going to get paid next 4 or 5 years?
Of course, we are not quite certain of the details of the contract. That has not yet been released, but it's going to be paid over time at a future date.
So the issue is, Candice, whether or not it's paid 2023, 2024, 2025, it is still going to be paid out of the development budget. So, and the system that the division is using is not a new system. That's a system that has always been used. Why do you think that there are contractors waiting to be paid?
But I mean, do we have contractors within the space that are able to fund those construction projects up front?
But Candice, all the work that has been done in Tobago, all the infrastructure works that would have been done before, it is the same method that was used. Why do you think we have a cadre of contractors who are still awaiting payment from the THA with the works being completed? It means that the contractor was able to finance the project and complete the project and is awaiting payment. So when the division says that this is a new system that they use, that's been disingenuous. The system is always there. You issue a contract, the contractor mobilizes, paves the road, builds the road, and then the contractor is paid. So it is the same. It's the same system, and that's, as I said, that's the reason why we have contractors who are still to be paid because they were able to fund and deliver the specific project.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Senator Hislop, for just giving us a little bit more perspective on what was said in the Senate today. And I mean, we're looking forward for more conversations, you know, as to the plans for the government, especially where Tobago is concerned, because these are conversations that we need to continue having within our space. So thank you again.
Sure, no problem. No problem.
All right, viewers, when we return from the break, we will be speaking to Ms. Sita Bipat from the Hindu Society because, yes, we have Diwali coming up. So we're going to see what's on the cards for this year's Diwali celebrations in Tobago. So don't go anywhere.
Just I get sick of it. The lady's choice. Girl, you got the body of a goddess. Some girl attack, tell them say them average. Jamaica's hitmaker. I tell her say me now worry about no. As long as me got life. TJ. Me get out the road so she wanna love the woman on me yard.
Sunday, October 23rd, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m.
At the Dwight York Stadium is water,
paint, foam,
powder,
coolers, and bikinis.
And breakfast in the biggest true beef flat in Tobago Carnival.
Soca Jam.
Soca Jam.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
I'm Roxanne Hepburn, the Managing Director of La Marche Parfait d'Espa. And now guess what? We're in Tobago and we are so excited to serve Tobago.
La Marche Parfait d'Espa Tobago will be open to the public from Monday the 5th. Some of the services that you can access will be infrared body steam, spa parties, body treatments, massages, pedicures, manicures, waxing, carbiation, radio, and lipo-slimming and cellulite wrap treatment. We are located at number 1 Main Road, Barrington Court, Bonaccord Village.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and now we are getting to a conversation about some great achievements within our space, and that is 75 years of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Mason Hall. 75 years, such a long time, and you know, it speaks to the testimony of the church being able to be around in the community for such a long time. So on set we have with us Miss Charlene Turner, and she's the chairperson of the organization committee for the SDA Church, and Miss Keisha Corbin, another member of the organization committee, and as a committee for planning that 75th anniversary celebration. So a special good morning and welcome to you both. How are you doing?
Good morning, Candice. Thanks for having us.
Good morning. All right, so we're going to get started with, you know, what are the plans do you guys have for celebrating such a milestone within the space?
All right, well, we actually would have started since 75 days ago.
Wow.
We had 75
nice.
days counting down. And so we are concluding our 75 hours of prayer, praise, preaching, and play come the weekend of the 14th to the 16th of October.
So 75 years of just good fellowship time in church.
Yes.
Right. I mean, what has been some of those achievements or those successes you guys have experienced over that time?
Okay. We have experienced the growth of the church, because when the church started, it started with a small galvanized structure. And today we have a beautiful edifice. So that's one thing, infrastructure. In terms of members, we have seen a number of members who would have come and gone into the world of work, and they are in different position in government and all of that. And also the church is such a place that you learn, you grow, you move on. So we have had that consistency in the development of its members.
You know, and as you touched on learning, you know, a major part of the church there is that of the schools.
That is correct.
So what can you tell me, you know, about, you know, having just invested in the community that way through the schools?
Well, currently we have the North Regional SDA School that's in the Mason Hall community, and we believe in the church partnering with the school and the home, because it's a threefold, right? So we have the school, the church, and the home. So we do extensive work in that area.
Now, getting back to the 75-year celebrations, you know, you said you're going to have 75 hours of prayer, praise, and preaching.
And play.
And play. So what is going to be like, and how can people get involved?
All right. So you can get involved by coming to church tomorrow evening, Friday evening at 6 p.m., where we would conclude our preaching. So we're going to have all of the former district pastors who would have passed through from that time, who are alive and well and are able, they would be there to preach. And also we have 3 youths that would be concluding with them. So that is the Friday evening in person. Open seating, just come. However, on Sabbath, it is not so. It is not open seating. We have to put things in place, because we have state officials who will be with us celebrating. And so we have really a wonderful time. But we begin at 9:15 a.m. on Sabbath morning. And in the afternoon, we have an evening of praise. Praise and praise. And then the big thing, we end on Sunday with a big family fun fair, where usually organizations give back to community. This time we are not giving back, because giving back suggests you got.
Yes.
We are giving. We are giving to the community. Free primary health care, all the checks. You come there at the Mason Hall Recreational Ground, and we would provide that for you. That's us giving to the community and saying thank you.
And then, of course, at the celebrations, you said state officials are going to be there, and if my information is correct, one of those state officials is Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. So, Ms. Corbin, you know, just give me an idea of, you know, just what, I mean, the idea of having him there, even as part of somebody who has grown up in Mason Hall.
Right, well, Dr. Rowley, man of the soil, Mason Hall. From Mason Hall, he has roots in Mason Hall, so we found it fitting to have him there so that he can celebrate with us. And as a leader, we need God to lead, right? So it's the best place to be.
I mean, and then, so you said that on Saturday, it's going to be limited seating, if I understand?
Not limited seating. We would have special seating reserved for our guests. and then the others you would come. But Friday night, there's no restriction. You come and sit wherever and enjoy.
And persons do not need to be a member of the Seventh-day Adventist
No,
Church.
it is open to everybody. We want everybody to come because Mason Hall is the center of attraction. And we want everybody to be there to celebrate with us, because indeed we have come this far by faith, and God would have led the church. And because God would have led the church, we want people to see for themselves how God would have led us, and they can be a part of it. They can get the opportunity to feel what it feels like to be a part of a great movement.
And what is the significance of celebrating 75 years within a community?
It is so significant that it helps you to be relevant. If you're not relevant, you don't want to celebrate. If you're not creative, you would not want to celebrate. So we have a combination of creativeness, innovation with the Spirit of God, and God's goodness over the time. And we just want to shout and say, Ebenezer, indeed, God would have blessed us. And we want the whole world to know that God has blessed us and is blessing us.
Now, is the Mason Hall SDA Church, is that the oldest Seventh-day Adventist Church in Tobago?
Unfortunately, it is not.
It is not.
It is not. We have a few before. But interestingly, Mason Hall Church came out of Moriah Church.
Ah.
And Moriah is currently 99.
Wow.
So there are others. There are others. But we, in 1947, that's when we became an organization, or we set up shop, as we would say, in Mason Hall.
So, I mean, is it safe to say that, you know, other than the traditional churches, and then when I say traditional churches, I mean like the Catholic, the Anglican, and that sort of thing, and we know those churches have been in this space for quite a long time, at least some of them a couple centuries and so on. You know, is it safe to say that the SDA Church has been one of those first non-traditional churches to establish itself in a strong way in Tobago?
It may not be one of the first, but I know it is prominent since its inceptions. Since they started, they have gotten a root, and we are still growing. We are still spreading our roots.
Mm-hmm. And what is so special about the community of the SDA Church?
Well, we have the health message, right? Your health is your wealth. So one of the things, you know, we promote good health. And even as a church, we don't keep the message to ourselves. We want to share it with the community. Hence, we're inviting persons to come out this Sunday at the Mason Hall Recreation Grounds so that they can be part, they can learn more, they can experience, they can get their free health checks. We are catering for adults, juniors, children. We have bouncy castle, we have checks. So it's about fun, it's about health, it's about play, it's about pray, all in one.
All right, now we're getting ready to wrap up, so just quickly, just give the viewers just that information again as to when and where the 75-hour church service is taking place.
All right, so this weekend, the 14th to the 16th of October, we will be concluding our 75 hours of prayer, preaching, and play. Friday evening, the 14th, we would be at the Mason Hall Seventh-day Adventist Church, and that is on the main road. For some people who think it's in Sandy River, it's at the main road. And on Sabbath morning at 9:15 a.m., we have a wonderful session of celebration, and we would have both our Prime Minister and our Chief Secretary in attendance, along with some other dignitaries. And in the afternoon, we have an evening of prayers, and on Sunday at the field, we conclude with our family fun day. It is expected to be great. So here, Tobago, I'm inviting you. Those of you who can't come, it would be streamed live. So you can get the link, gather your families together, and sip and have a wonderful time celebrating with us in your own space.
All right, I want to thank you both so much for being on with us this morning and to share, I mean, some of the good things that are happening within the Seventh-day Adventist Church, especially in the community of Mason Hall.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having us.
Yes.
Great. All right, viewers, so we still have some more coming up for you after the break, so please don't go anywhere.
This is it. Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level. The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and we are turning ourselves right now to Diwali, because we have Diwali coming up on the 24th of this month. It's pretty soon. And that's one of those festivals that we're generally quite excited for within our space. And to speak to us about what's happening in Tobago, we have on set with us Miss Sita Bipat Kambi, Mrs. Sita Bipat Kambi, I should say, and she's the Assistant Secretary of the Tobago Hindu Society. A special good morning and welcome to you.
Special good morning to Trinidad and Tobago and the world.
Great. So, one of the things, if persons are not aware, there's always some celebration here in Tobago leading up to the Diwali, the Diwali holiday. So, what do you have in store for us this year?
Well, this year we will be having our program on the 15th. It's before the actual holiday itself, so that we can accommodate artists from Trinidad to assist in our program. We'll be having Mia Prasad will be our youngest member. She is our youngest member. Bisram Sivrat, we have Shiva Jyoti Cultural Organization. They will be partnering with us, and they'll also have their performers, dancers, singers, and tasters as well.
And where is this going to be taking place and when?
At the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands in Tobago at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Yeah.
Great. And then what kind of people expect? So, you guys want everybody to come out. Is it a free event, first of all?
Yes, it's a free event, and we would like to invite everyone in the public, children especially, for them to educate themselves about what is Diwali, let them experience the diyas, lighten the diyas, and let them enjoy the entertainment. And we also have giveaways. We would be having pick-up and competition, we'll be having Diwali Queen, and we'll also have modeling, and we also have giveaways for the kids, little hampers and stuff like that.
All right, so it's a lot of stuff happening there.
Yes,
so
yes.
viewers, you want to get involved. And as we're talking about Diwali, I mean, what is Diwali? For those viewers who are not aware, what is Diwali?
Diwali is a festival of light. It also signifies good over evil. In the Hindu epic book of the Ramayana, the story of the Ramayana, it says after 14 years, when Sita and Ram, Hanuman and Lakshman were in exile, they went back home after that 14 years. The entire village of Ayodhya celebrated and lit the whole city with diyas, celebrating their return at home.
So it's just a celebration of just positivity and
yeah.
light, and that embracing the future as well.
Yes.
I mean, and then what are some of your special memories or favorite memories or favorite aspects of celebrating Diwali?
Well, the favorite aspect of Diwali itself is having the puja before, praying for everything that has happened, good and bad, throughout the year, and wishing for better in the future, and lighting the diyas with family and friends, enjoying that time together.
And of course, when people come at the Gulf City Mall on Saturday, they get to experience, lighting the diyas themselves. And what is that experience like for people who are not familiar with the Hindu religion?
Well, it's very surprising when you actually see their faces light up, It is very enlightening to them. You actually see the kids very enthusiastic. They want to do it. They want to learn. They're not afraid of the fire, but they enjoy it. Yeah.
And then how important is it that we learn about each other? We learn about, just the Hindu society. We learn about even just other ethnic groups within our society. Yeah.
Well, it is very important learning each other religion. I went to Harmon School of SDA. I did religion as a subject. I had to learn Christianity, Hinduism, Islamic. It is very important, I should say, educational wise. Yeah.
And of course, we want our people here in Tobago to come out and support. And one of the things that people look forward to around Diwali time is the food. It's sort of branded as national curry day.
Yes.
So are we going to be having some food as well?
Yes, we would be having food. It will be free, of course, so everyone can come out and partake in the meals. I'm not sure if we'll be having sweets, but we will be having roti and curry. No meat.
Well, yes. And I mean, what's the significance of not having meat? Because, people may not be aware of why you may not have meat at a Hindu celebration for Diwali.
Well, during Diwali, we do fasting. Just as the Muslim, they have their fast. Our fast is abstaining from meat and meat products. So we don't have meat on that day, and we don't have it at home as well. So we have our puja, we clean the homes, and we sit down and we pray together. So it's our time of reflection and pray.
Great.
Yeah.
So viewers, if you want some good curry, well, come on down to the Gulf City Mall. Yes. You also mentioned that there's going to be a fashion show as well.
Yes, we would have the little kids. They would be modeling their Indian garments. Yes.
And would people in Tobago get the opportunity to experience wearing the Indian garments?
A lot of them come out. It's surprisingly throughout the years that we have our programs, 30 years going now. They come out, the little kids, they come out from, you don't see them during the year, but when we have our programs, they come out very, very beautiful kids. Yes.
And I know that the Hindu Society is also, at this point in time, working at constructing their mandir in Signal Hill.
Yes.
How are things going where that's concerned?
Well, during this period now, we have the rain season, so we have halted a little bit. So we would soon continue with the process, hoping that we'll be putting down the steel and stuff like that. So it's coming along very good.
So very soon then we'll be having these celebrations at the Mandir.
Yes, of course.
And I mean, how are you guys excited about that prospect?
Yes, we are very excited having our first Hindu temple on the island in Tobago. It is very, very, very good. It will be a landmark, and it's also going to be a very good tourism destination.
Right, yeah, so, you know, I mean, and I want to expand on that a little bit. The idea of, you know, having those different bits of culture and there for the visitors that come to our island and to experience, you know, just all the different people that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, so just like they have the Hanuman temple in Trinidad, whereas, you know, people around the world come to do their weddings there, we will also be accommodating a lot of people around the world, whoever want to come in and have any celebration there or do prayers as such, they can come once we have the temple is finished.
Okay, great. Well, I think we're getting ready to wrap up now. So then, just quickly give us the idea when and where the celebrations are taking place this year.
Right. So the Tobago Hindu Society will be having our annual Diwali celebration on Saturday, the 15th of October, and it will be at the Lowlands Gulf City Mall at 6 p.m.
All right, great. I want to thank you so much, Sita, for just being on with us. I mean, will we be seeing you dancing this year?
I will not be dancing this year. I'll be singing.
All right, well, we're gonna hear her singing. You know, if you don't know, Sita is a classical Indian dancer by training, and she is beautiful when she's up on stage. It's something to look forward to, but we'll have to miss out on it for this year. We get to hear her beautiful voice instead.
Yes.
And then maybe in the future years, we're going to see her return to the dance floor.
Of course, of course.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for being on with us. And viewers, so of course, don't miss out on Saturday. It's happening at the Gulf City Mall. I mean, you also get some free roti and some curry. So, hey, why not go in and learn about learn about the Hindus that are in Tobago as well as in Trinidad and Tobago, and learn about Diwali, what it's all about. Experience lighting diyas for yourselves. All right, and that's how we're going to end our program this morning. I want to thank you for being with us, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow at 7 a.m. So look out for us then. Have a wonderful day, Tobago.
Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to